Hi, Carol.
David?
How are you?
Hey.
Good. Shell's going to be a little late. She got held up at the doctor's office.
Uh, well, trying to do anything before to get to
Difficult.
is difficult.
So, but she'll be along shortly, she said. So, how are things in your world this morning?
Um, Pretty good this morning.
Good.
John just was saying that he got up all ready to go to his 9:45 appointment, which is at 12:45.
Oh no.
But he didn't. I don't think he got up early in order to go. It's just that when he woke up, that was his first thought. But he
Yeah.
had plenty of time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Um,
But his blood pressure has been unexpectedly dropping, and he's been feeling kind of light, short of breath sometimes.
hmm. Dangerously low?
Um, well, not 50 over 40 or something silly like that, but 80 80s over
Oh,
50s, something
that's
like
that is.
that's pretty low, especially for someone on high blood pressure medications.
Oops.
Oops. So
Yeah,
they may
that's a
be,
little concerning.
yeah. Um, and he's just not getting any stronger.
Oh,
I mean, he's not doing a lot to get stronger, but it
he's not able to do much.
yeah,
That's that's disappointing
it is.
to him, I'm sure.
To him, oh, really disappointing to him, and his back is hurting a lot.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to his primary care doctor this afternoon
Oh, good.
and see if
Can talk about all these things.
talk about all this stuff and see if there's anything that she can recommend. Um,
Well, it's all a big juggling uh, game here.
yeah. So in some ways, I mean, I'm downstairs, he's upstairs, but if he needs me, if I hear a clunk, I'm going to take off upstairs.
Right. Well, that's understandable.
But
So, because what I want to do today, I really need to do with both of you. Uh, I did think I would ask you first, though, since you're here first. um, and any form, thoughts, questions, issues?
um, well, the only issue is that I haven't been able to practice for the
Mm,
last couple of days. Be it that I intended to do yesterday afternoon and then lay down instead.
which you probably needed to do.
Yes. I realized that I needed to do it, but it's I need to do things for my body too. So it's just
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not I'm not getting a good balance at the moment.
that's,
Um,
yeah.
but I mostly do the form for the flow of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, kind of focusing on opening and closing,
Mm-hmm. Good.
if I focus at all on it. And I was doing it in my head the other day and realized that middle section with the kicks and all, that I really like doing that physically, but my head doesn't have it clear to do it mentally.
Huh.
It's um maybe because physically it's so obvious where the feet go that mentally it's, how do I put this foot down? Or no. So I focused on that section a little bit more
Yeah. When you get a chance.
when I get a chance.
Yeah. That's a little bit difficult section for me now,
Yeah.
but actually it's been better the last couple of days for some reason. Uh,
Yeah. It feels good to be able to, oh, I can do this kick. I
yeah,
can balance on this leg and kick. And then I can balance on that leg and then kick.
yeah,
That feels really nice to be able to know that I can still do that.
yeah. Well, we just have to be a little more careful at our age.
Yeah. And you have a few years on me.
Well, I do. And I fortunately don't have, for me, don't have the pressure you do at the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
I have the preparation for classes that demands quite a bit sometimes, but um, I don't have another person beyond myself that I have to take care of.
Yeah.
And that can be difficult.
And you have a partner
Yeah,
to balance all that life stuff.
yep, yep. I uh, I remember my mother, who had ALS, lived with me for the next to the last year of her life, the year before she went into a nursing home. Um, so I remember uh, taking care of someone with limited physical ability
Mm.
and all. It's not easy.
No. We've just borrowed a wheelchair,
Oh, good.
which I'm hoping not to need for quite a while, but there have been times when when he's fallen, for instance, it might have been useful for him to be able to climb up into a chair or
Yeah. Well, that's a thought that might be useful that way.
Mhm. Or the other day he was in the dining room in a chair, but it was bothering his back, but his legs weren't feeling strong enough to get him into the living room, which is more comfortable.
Mm,
So we have a couple of desk chairs
yeah.
so he sat in one of those and I kind of pushed him around, but it didn't work real well over the rug. I didn't try it over we only have these little tiny thresholds, but I couldn't quite see how to make that go over the threshold
he's,
without dumping him out.
he's a sizable load too.
Yes. But I think I could have managed it with a wheelchair.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it was when we got the wheelchair for my mother. That was a big help, and it freed her up too because she could still get around in it.
Mm. Well, this is I don't know, the traveling. It doesn't have the big wheels that he could wheel himself, but it just was sort of like a transport chair.
Mm. Hers was electric, you know.
Mm, yeah, Shelley's got one on order.
Yeah, yeah, that was a help.
Mhm.
That was a stressful year, though. I remember.
Yeah.
But you know, that next year when my mother was in the nursing home, it was only about 10 minutes away from where I lived. So I could spend time with her every day.
Mm.
And we actually had some really wonderful um, time together and connections over that year. I actually, surprisingly enough, have some very happy and positive memories.
Yeah, that's really good.
Not all of them, but quite a few.
Oh, yeah. John's mom got dementia, and she would lived in Syracuse. And by the time we got her transferred down near us, she was she still recognized us. And we were able for the first year or so to take her out. We lived in Norwich, so we took her out to Mohegan Park, brought her home to eat meals with us.
Uh-huh.
But the last year was really painful for both of us. And I got really hard for me to go visit her. I mean, it's hard for John too, but more so probably for John. But because I don't know if she could follow a conversation,
Yeah.
and she just and and I'm not good at just talking. And it was, I couldn't talk about what I was doing at work because it was really quite technical. And
Yeah.
John would get glassy if I tried to talk about, doing physical inventories and monitoring what finance is doing and trying to get the planning team working on giving them the tools that they need, and making sure the barcoding system works. And it was all interesting stuff to me, but not really conversation material.
No, not unless you're talking to another programmer.
Right. Yeah, right. Or somebody else in the manufacturing world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
I think my son had sort of the same difficulty there weren't a lot of things he could talk to us about
mhm,
because he was so focused. I mean, he lived in his computers.
mhm.
Well, Shelley, where are you?
What did he do with it? I mean, he was.
Um, he worked as a programmer out in the West Coast
Mhm,
for a marketing company. Um, they had a major one of those programs. I couldn't really explain this to you, but um, some way that when you indicated interest, they would send you ads, and I don't know. He was head of the team on that until his company, which he'd been with for like 20 years, was bought by a big company, and then they let him go.
Oh.
That kind of started his downtrend.
Mhm.
But he was very happy, actually, in his job,
Yeah.
as long as he had it. Well, here comes Shelley.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I was worried that I'd be late. Oh,
Ta-da!
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Shell. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. You're up and
How are
taking
you folks?
nourishment.
What?
You're up and taking nourishment.
Yep. Well, not yet.
I know.
uh,
Just up. This appointment took almost an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
But it's a new PCP, and she knew nothing about ALS.
You're kidding.
oh
So
no.
she had a ton of questions. That's not unusual.
So you had to educate her.
Well, yeah, she had a lot of questions about what I could do, what I couldn't do, the medications.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Carol and I have had a nice conversation waiting for you.
good. I'm sorry it took so long.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
I never dreamed I'd be there that long. You know how it is, you go to the doctor's office, you get in there, then once you're out.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she could take that long, that she had space for that.
You know, she's new, and as I was checking out, I heard someone talking to another patient saying, well, if you want, I can fit you in with Kat O'Connor. So if they're able to fit people in today, she doesn't have that many people.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Is this at the same practice your other doctor was?
It is, yeah. My doctor, when I asked the med tech, I said, "Boy, I was surprised Dr. Murphy left." She said, "We were too." She came to work on Thursday. She was out on Friday, and Monday she said she wasn't coming back.
Whoa.
She had major health issues, and she's taking time to take care of herself. So she may have been sick or had some issues, and like many medical professionals, just decided to, you know, ignore it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then over the weekend, it came to a head.
Well, her husband's also a physician. He's a cardiologist.
Ah,
And they may have been talking about, you know, two kids in college, what do we do, but she's probably going home completely exhausted.
yep.
So I'll miss her, but this woman was very, very nice.
Oh, good.
And you can get back into your educator role.
Well, she was asking because she's obviously you noticed I don't know very much about ALS. You must know more than I do. I said, well, nobody knows a whole lot.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
But once I was diagnosed, I started researching.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should get underway.
Yes.
Be able to hear them on Zoom.
So any particular questions?
No, but you know, I was just thinking in yesterday's paper,
Mm-hmm.
there was an article about somebody who does sound therapy,
Uh-huh.
Newington, and she uses all kinds of different things for sound, for relaxation and healing, supposedly. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah. It's been
I should,
around for a while.
yeah.
So, actually, I'm kind of glad that this ended up on Zoom, and because I am recording this. Um, I'm going to take you today into a fairly long practice, which is very internally focused. Um, and I think one of the things I would say is that, yes, ideally you're going to do um, gods while you're doing it, but I think it's probably too long in some ways and would be too demanding to keep doing that. So don't worry about it. If you need to sit down, sit down. You can do some movements certainly while you're seated, or you can have the intention to do them from your mind. Um, because the primary focus here is on what's happening inside your body, not the physical movement. So do what's appropriate for you. If we were all 20-year-olds, it would be no issue. But none of us is anymore. Or
Maybe the next life.
maybe in the next life.
Yeah, at 20, I don't know that I'd have been able to even think of it.
Well,
We all had 20-year-old bodies.
maybe we
Maybe
should say 40.
40 might be better.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
So, um, a short introduction. So, as you're starting this, it's a bit of a trick, and it's necessary to understand that your unconscious mind is able to pay attention to quite a lot at the same time. It doesn't necessarily always have this mega sharpness, but it needs to be clear. So I would like you, if you are up to it, stand or sit straight, whatever's appropriate. Be aware of your alignments and your breath. Remember to tuck your pelvis so your sacrum is pointing straight to the earth. And start bringing the energy from the bubbling well point up to your dantian. And then take it down to your feet. So make it go up to your dantian and down to your feet. This is just to begin awakening your lower dantian. And then the next thing you're going to do is from your lower dantian, get your chi to go up to the crown of your head and to the point above your head where the etheric body ends, as well as down your arms to your fingertips and the point beyond your fingertips where the etheric body ends. Just move as much chi as your intent will allow between your lower dantian, your fingertips, and above the crown of your head. Now, as you're doing this, I can't say it will feel solid and or amorphous, but it has to have, at least for you, what is enough of a kind of weight that you can feel that it is activating these two places. And not that it goes to your head and your fingers and then goes away and comes back and goes away. What you're trying to do is to deliberately practice so you can stably do it. Keep in mind you're going to have to keep stably doing this while you're doing the movements of gods. And while you're doing that, maintaining the fingertips and the crown of the head, have your energy from your lower dantian connect to the balls of your feet, the bubbling well point. Keep that constant, so you also go up and down your legs. In the end, it's just the sheer fact that the contact of your lower dantian, the bubbling well points on the bottom of your feet, is solid. And it's solid to your etheric body in the ground below your bubbling well points, which could be anywhere from 2 inches to a foot, depending on how strong your etheric field is. Stabilize these flows. And as you do that, let your mind relax and become very, very, very easy. Because just as this is required for your mind to penetrate inside your body, so it is also required to be able to extend from your extremities into the boundary of your etheric body. So now begin to do the second movement of God's playing in the clouds. Do you feel that that is stable? Remember, you have to maintain your energy at the end of these 5 extremities of your body. Two feet, 2 hands, and a head. You have to play with whatever we call the density of the mind. This is Goldilocks of the 3 bears. Remember, one bear said the porridge is too cold, one said it's too hot, but Goldilocks said it's just right, it's in the middle. So when your mind, which will have a tendency to direct your chi either too strongly or too weakly to any of your 5 extremities, when you don't feel that your chi going equally to an extremity, what that says is that the energy inside your body is blocked somewhere. For example, you can feel it in the middle finger of your left hand that says that channel that are all going there ultimately are blocked by something. If you sense that the feeling at the crown of your head was either dead or weak, that means the chi inside your body is weak, or moving through its channels erratically. Same thing with the feet and each toe. So you're trying to find the stability points so that the chi is moving evenly everywhere inside your body. Or as a phrase says that's used in Tai Chi, which actually comes from this principle, since Gods was actually around a few thousand years before Tai Chi was invented. One part moves, all parts move. One part stays still, all parts stay still. So every part of the body is evenly saturated with chi. Now if you find the place where all of a sudden one of your 5 extremities goes dead, slow down your movement and see if you can do whatever you can do inside yourself to get that chi to that place, so that again you're back with all 5 of the extremities being equal. next time you come down or up, begin doing movement 3. And remember all 5 equal. Previously, your mind has learned how to inhale your body, inhabit your body. So the question is, can your mind inhabit the whole of your body? Now, this may mean that at some point in the future, if you realize there are parts of your body that your mind cannot inhabit, you may want to go through the beginning portions of the program and start looking again at those practices which helped your mind to inhabit your body. Or as the Chinese put it, put your mind inside your body. Now, your intent in Chinese is called yi. But as you get further and further into gods, this sense of yi, that sense that I'm going from A to B, or you want to walk across the room and you have to consider your yi is going into each step, one step at a time. Well, later on, when you get to what's called Qin, where your heart and mind are together, all of you will be moving together. All of you will be connected. There is no part that disconnects. And this is important, both for moving qi inside the body, and it's exceptionally important for being able to do this within meditation. Now, when you're focusing on one of these movements directly, how do you just have the 5 points in your body be stable? And when that stability gets broken, that is simply letting you know that the qi somewhere in your circulation throughout the interior of your body is not doing as well as it should. Go the other direction. If you can focus at the 5 extremities, you don't have to put quite as much effort in how you're opening up everything in each of the extremities. One simple thing is that if it's getting to all the 5 extremities with an equal, constant strength, you know everything is doing what it should be doing inside of you. But if it isn't, then you have to go back and look at all the parts, all the little internal mechanisms that are creating God's plane in the clouds. Now, I know that neither of you has done spiraling energy bodies. So this next thing is something for you to know that it exists and to put what you can if you feel some spiraling into it. Now, beside having your energy inside your lower dantian, start getting the lower dantian to spin. This will increase the amount of power that's going to your 5 extremities. This method I'm showing you now is going to activate your entire etheric field, above, below, front, back, and sidewards. This is going to increase your sensitivity to recognizing what's going on and fulfilling all the things that the earlier parts of the program told you you should be fulfilling. Now go to movement 4. Don't let go of the spiraling of your dantian. And don't let go of the constant awareness of your 5 extremities. Right now it's enough that you're just doing this with your physical and chi bodies. At later times, when you start working with your emotional, mental, psychic, karmic, and essence bodies, there are very special things you want to be doing. But for right now, your major focus is that your physicality is getting everything that it needs. Once you've actually absorbed what a basic chi practice is, you don't really have to think about it much. The lightest bit of attention on it will activate and continue it. But it has to be in you strongly enough to begin with. So this is a good time to be sure you have the earlier portions included. They enable the chi to get to your 5 extremities. And that's the marker that tells you you're in the right track. And now go to movement 5. Remember that if the energy is going up and down your central channel in this and the next movement, in combination with your left and right channels, all of this needs to be happening inside you to get this complete evenness at your 5 extremities. One can ask questions like, am I bending and straightening appropriately? Am I getting my chi beyond the yin and yang surfaces? Is my lower dantian constantly active? When I'm bringing my energy upwards, am I somehow experiencing, even if it's just a little, what my lower dantian, my middle dantian, and the upper dantian are actually doing? And are they penetrating whatever the core of them is? Now the next time that your hands cross at the dantian, begin movement 6. Now some find that moving energy up the central channel is easier than moving it down, while others are opposite. You can remember what it was like moving energy up your central channel. Is moving it down your central channel the same, more difficult, or easier? And at the end of the day, what you really want is that it is smooth. And you're still aware of all of your 5 extremities. Make sure the transition is smooth when your hands go from your lower dantian to the sides and up. Now, one of the things that happens to many people as your hands are moving through your etheric body is that your etheric body can have a sense of weight or solidity, even though it's happening in the air. Just begin to notice the solidity, because when it gets to be a certain way, it can activate the channels in your body very evenly. This, for example, is a technique for feeling the energy in the air called swimming in the air, which is done in Tai Chi, Xing Yi, and Bagua. The first person who came to the United States and taught Tai Chi on the East Coast used to emphasize the point of swimming in the air. He was really talking about having your hands be aware of moving energy through your etheric body. Swimming in the air was a way that people could understand that concept without a lot of background information. There are many practices in Taoism where you tune into the heavy of your etheric body. This requires your intent rising to a point of strength so that it could move first through the sense of heaviness until that sense of heaviness was completely comfortable and not difficult. or disturbing you. Now, next time as your hands come down, let them pass your dantian and come to your sides. Make sure that the stability of your fingers, bubbling well point, and the crown of your head are still there. And with it being there, feel the energy of the central channel descending from the space above your head. It goes to your crown and then through the center of your body, through the bone marrow, all the way down to your toes. And then comes up the sides of your body. But it goes through the bone matrix. Have energy go through the bones, all the way up the legs, all the way through the pelvis, right all the way up the vertebra of your neck to the crown of your head and above it. And fix the sense of your left and right channels above your head, beyond your fingertips, where when you have gone through the bones of your hand and just have all of these, the central channel and the left and right channels, activate. Have the lower dantian become stable and the 5 extremities stable. Stable to create a spiral in the lower dantian that's going to continue all the way up above your head and all the way down to your perineum, as well as a spiral that's going around the bone matrix between above the crown of your head and down to below your and beyond your feet. And now start to make your neck roll. And start to make the spine roll. And remember that we're not trying to bend forward with the torso. What we're doing is having the rolling of the neck activate and increase the spirals in the left and right channels of your body. If this happens along the bone matrix, it will get all the channels related to your left and right channels activated. If you get it to go through the central channel, it will give everything that's in your bone marrow and the core of your torso activated. When you're doing this, you ideally are doing 10 circles in one direction and then 10 in the other. And what this is doing is evening and coordinating everything inside you and activating the spiraling pathways inside your body. Remember, the chi inside the body moves in spirals, not in straight lines. Even when you have a circle that goes around you, like the Daimai between the Dantian and Mingmen, still the way the energy travels along the Daimai is in spirals. When you're first doing this, the spirals are big, but eventually they're going to end up being thin as a hair. And the smaller they are, the more power they generate inside of you. And then finish on the next one and come to stillness. So now you want to bring everything into your lower dantian and just go through the closing procedure. Now this is a quite intense practice that may tend to leave you feeling nonverbal. And the stronger the internal vibrations that happen inside you, the more nonverbal you become. In the beginning, you probably will not be able to keep the 5 extremities activated, but don't worry. Over time, you'll develop the ability to do that. It's not easy. If you can do it in 6 months to a year, you'll be doing very well. Just keep on going, because this is a major thing in the world of Qigong training. And the ability to do this is really what separates beginners from those who are really in the game. So just relax. So how was that?
Exhausting.
Yes, no kidding.
I think I did much better with the first 2 postures than it's just I was losing it later on. It was harder to keep the spiral
Hmm.
as time went on. It probably because I was getting tired.
So that, I, my feeling was that was probably too long for you, and you should try in doing this, obviously, to do it with fewer repetitions.
Or maybe just one posture at a time.
Maybe that's right. Although you actually can do this with as few as 2 repetitions of each movement.
It takes me about a half a dozen before I really get into the swing of things.
There is that too.
Especially now that I'm doing everything with one hand.
Yeah.
Um, I often forget where I'm going.
Hmm. Yep. You certainly have stronger challenges um, than the rest of us, shall we?
Well, I'll deal.
But you're doing it. So, you know, but what I was saying was practice the way that is most beneficial for you. If it's just one posture at a time, or one movement at a time, do that. Be kind of interesting to do one posture and then later do the next one. End up doing a cycle that's connected but disconnected. That would be interesting. I've never tried that. So what I liked was you are clearly feeling the spiraling though.
On and off.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to focus on the 5 points and the posture and the spiraling.
Yep. Yes, it is. No question.
Like everything else, it will take practice.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
I found it much easier to feel it all in the arms and fingers and head. The legs and feet are different.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as tingly.
Okay. Not as alive.
Um, yeah, maybe that's the good word for it. I mean, they're more solid, but but it's dense.
Yep.
Um, and though when we went from the 2 to 3, they woke up more. The legs
Huh.
were more. I was more aware of the legs. Though after a while, the side of my back started hurting.
Mm.
At 3. Um, and so I was kind of, okay, how do I keep doing this and ease that off?
Yeah.
But it eventually eased off through 5 and 6.
Uh-huh. I wonder if you were trying to rotate too far.
Yeah, I don't know. It was still there in 4.
Mm-hmm.
Became more aware of shoulders, that and back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when you added the spiral in the dantian. I can't say that I could feel it, but it was like, oh, that might help.
Hmm.
Because the dantian still, I still don't have um, a strong awareness of it.
Yeah.
And I know that if things are moving through there and it's aiming in there, but it's not, but possibly if I could that it might be spiraling, maybe makes me more aware of it moving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything else is moving.
Right. Good.
And so I'll have to see what comes of that.
Absolutely. That would be great. Good.
And then when we finally got to the 7, my back had stopped hurting, but my spine was really happy to do the circles.
I find that I'm often really glad to do the circles too. That's interesting. Yeah. Good. Well,
Right.
as I said, if you can learn to put all that together in 6 months to a year, you're doing well. So don't don't uh, feel that you're a failure because you can't do it at the moment.
Well,
So you don't expect us to know it all in 2 weeks.
Nope. I do.
Good.
No, I just expect you to do the best you can do. So, have I worn you out?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, not so much. I don't feel so much physically worn out as I don't want to absorb anything more
I
because
know.
I'll lose this.
Okay. Well, we can stop and we'll continue next time.
Very good.
I did forget to tell you this is the beginning of a new session.
Oh,
So if it's convenient to drop a check in the mail, great, or bring one next time I see you.
okay.
And have as good a week as you can.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
have a nice 4th of July.
Take care, David.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.